Hello, and thank you for attending our self-publishing workshop as part of Mountain of Authors. Mountain of Authors is an annual event that focuses on writers, publishing, and these communities. My name is Heather Johnson. I'm a librarian with the Pikes Peak Library District and the self-publishing liaison to the district. A quick note about facts and figures presented here today. I am recording this in spring 2021 with the most current up-to-date figures that I could find. If you are viewing this recording at a later time, you will want to find the most current facts and figures at the time that you are researching or self-publishing. To note that self-publishing is a field that changes very quickly and is constantly evolving. So some topics I will be covering here today are the benefits of self-publishing, how to create a file that is ready for distribution, distributors or self-publishing companies, publishing figures, formats, and marketing tips. All right, let's get started. So some of the benefits of self-publishing. According to the latest ProQuest Boca report from October 2019, nearly 1.7 million books were self-published in the US in 2018. This is a 264% increase in 5 years. By 2019, the total number of books published in the US exceeded 4 million in that year alone. That includes both self-published books and commercially published of all types, all different formats. That's 10 times more titles being published annually in the US than Boca figures showed in 2007 when book sales peaked. So there is indeed a market for self-publishing and traditional books. The Alliance of Independent Authors compares trade publishing to self-publishing. Trade publishing is relatively structured and orderly. And by contrast, self-publishing is a beautiful bubbling chaos. It is filled with diversity. It's driven by authors, creatives, publishing entrepreneurs, and business people of all sorts of backgrounds and approaches that bring forward their creative minds in an environment where you can freely create. So in that sense, the first benefit is you have complete creative control. This is your book. This is your product that you are bringing to companies, to an audience. You will have higher royalty rates. Now, this does vary widely. With traditional publishing, you will have typically a literary agent who will represent you and your work and connect you to publishing houses. And they make a profit on your work. So that's about 15% of the first sale, whatever you continue to receive. Then the publisher also gets a cut. And this could be a standard royalty payout for hardcover books, which is about 10% on the first 5,000 copies sold. And then that increases with the next 5,000 up to 12.5%, the next 5,000 at 15%, and then onwards. Paperback authors will receive about 7.5% of the cover price with an escalator royalty rate. And then ebooks, about 25% of the publisher's net receipts. And self-publishing, this could be anywhere between 30 to 75%. And I have seen 100% with some hybrid publishers. Another benefit is that you have a hand-picked team. You get to decide who is a part of your success. So who is going to be your editor, your cover designer? So you get to decide who is going to be a part of your process. Do you have a marketing team? Professionals that you can leverage their strengths to help you on your road to success. Another benefit is there is no deadline stress. You are the one who creates your timeline. So what does that look like? You can have your work available in minutes on a website, though a lot of professionals would recommend that you take some time to think about your marketing strategy and how you want to roll out your book to your audience. Another benefit is you have a quicker publishing process. In traditional publishing, this can take anywhere between a year to 2 years. The average is about 18 months from signing the book deal and then having the book available to your audience. But in self-publishing, you could have it available in just a few minutes, a click of a button. No rejections. So I think we can all think about our beloved authors that have created these masterpieces, but yet time and time again, they have been rejected by traditional publishing houses. But with self-publishing, you don't have to worry about that. Typically, your work will be accepted by a majority of self-publishing companies. And we'll talk about some of the more popular choices in this presentation. And the last benefit is that you get to maintain your rights. Typically, when you go to a publisher, you're selling your work to that publishing house and they retain the rights to it. However, with self-publishing, and this comes with an asterisk, is that you get to maintain your rights to this. And this is something you'll want to look for called a non-exclusive license. Are you exclusive to selling your work with a particular company, or are you able to distribute with multiple companies? This is something called an exclusive license or a non-exclusive license. So that's very important to consider when you are publishing, whether it's traditional or self-published or hybrid. So you've decided that you want to self-publish. Great. But first, all the things that come along with self-publishing. So before you can even get started with self-publishing or publishing in general, you want to make sure you have the shiniest, most complete manuscript. This means it is polished, it has been formatted, it has been edited, it has been proofread. Maybe you have some beta readers that have given you some critique or feedback on your work. You have thought of your cover and you format it. So just a quick note about editors is that there are 3 types of editors that you have available to you. A developmental editor who will look at your ideas. How does your story make sense? Your copy editor who will address the technical flaws like spelling, grammar, and syntax. And then your line editor who looks at the content, the writing style, and the language use at a sentence and paragraph level. So before you even take it to the market, make sure that you have a complete polished product. I also want to make a note here that cover design is very important. We'll be talking about format later, but you will need to decide how you make your work available. Is this in print, ebook, e-audiobook, physical audio? So when you consider that, note that your cover will be the first impression our reader will get of your work. So how do you create your file once you've got your manuscript? There are really 2 different ways that you can create your file. What type of file that you will need will depend on where you are making it available, which distributor, business, or library that you are working with. To note, you have 2 basic options. First is a PDF file, and the second is an EPUB file. The EPUB format is the official standard for the International Digital Publishing Forum. It's designed for reflowable content, which means that your EPUB file can be used to optimize the text for any e-reading device. So first, the PDF. If your manuscript has been created in Microsoft Word, this is a very easy way to save your book in a usable format. So you will click on File up at the top and save it as a PDF as part of your format options when you have the option to save as type. But do note that this is an easy method. It comes with a price, that your book will look like a Word document. It will not have any special ebook features. It will not be formatted as a traditional book, and it will not have any accessibility features that are associated with EPUBs. This is something to consider with your readers and your audience who will access your work, that you will not be able to increase the font size, change the font style, the color scheme, or line spacing. There are 3 basic ways that you can create an EPUB file from Microsoft Word. The first way is to use an online converter. Here is one example website that you can use. There are many of them out there. You will upload your document to the website and convert the file. This will download to your computer, and then you can upload this to your distributor's website, contact your distributor's contact person, or into a library such as using the Indie Author Project. This is fast and easy, but please note that you will not have any control over the visual aesthetics, such as your cover. If you have something that is illustrative heavy, such as a picture book or poetry book, which has been very popular trend, then you will not have control over this. So this is quick and easy, but again, it does have some negatives. The second option is to download a software to your computer that you have a page-by-page view of the final product. An example of this is Calibre. Calibre is a software that you can download for free, and it will create an EPUB file. So here is the website to Calibre. It is open source. It's platform compatible, which means you can use it on Windows, Mac, or Linux. So this will give you that page-by-page view, more creative control of your final product. The third option is the industry standard. So this is Adobe InDesign. This is what publishers use. This is the professional software. This is easy enough as selecting file and exporting it as a particular type of file, which would be the EPUB file. Now, you do have a lot of creative control in Adobe InDesign. Just to note, Adobe products have a high learning curve, and we do make this available in our libraries because we do understand that Adobe products can also be very expensive. So to note that we do have this available software at East Library, 21C, and Sands Creek Library. However, there is a free trial on the Adobe website. And because of that steep learning curve for the Adobe products, I would recommend that you use one of our databases if you are interested in formatting your book into an EPUB using Adobe InDesign. Lynda.com, if you go to our databases and search for lynda.com, signing in with your library card, you will get free access to thousands of tutorials, including using InDesign and developing and designing a book. And this could include eBooks and traditional formats, such as print. So lynda.com is a free resource to you with your library card, but you will have to use the library website in order to access it. If you go to lynda.com directly, it will ask you to pay for a subscription. So make sure that you go to ppld.org and search for the database within our website and use our library portal to access with your library card. And that will give you free access. You do not need to pay for these courses. So congratulations, you've done it. So at this point, you would have completed your manuscript. It is polished and ready for distributors. You now have your files ready either in PDF or EPUB or both. And now you are ready to self-publish. You want to make your work available. How do you do that? Where you make your work available will be up to you. You will want to consider where your audience is at, what services are offered at each distributor or each business. Just to note, the disclaimer here is the library does not endorse any particular company or business, and there are hundreds of them. These are only a few examples of the more popular choices on the market. I know we discussed the two ways that you can create your file to get it ready for distribution, but distributors will have their own formatting preferences and guidelines. They may ask you to come prepared with print-ready PDF files or your EPUB file. Each company will have differing royalty payouts, and most are non-exclusive, so you can choose to mix and match. For example, using one company to sell ebooks and another company for print on demand. Each company will have its own distribution channels or publishing partners, and there's really no one right way. It's the right way for you. Amazon is the biggest player in the self-publishing industry. in the US and the UK and is growing in other countries. According to Boca Records, Amazon's market share of self published print books in the US increased from 6% in 2007 to 92% as of 2018. In print books, Amazon is generally recognized to own 50% of the American market and at least 3/4 of ebook sales. Amazon's Kindle Unlimited paid out over $250 million to indie authors in 2019. The biggest competitor to Kindle Unlimited is Scribd in the US. However, there are other distributors who stand out in terms of reaching more audiences and more territories. For ebooks, that's Kobo Writing Life, Ingram Spark for print books, and distributors like Findaway Voices for audiobooks. These reach part of the global audience that are not served by Amazon. For print distribution, many companies offer print-on-demand services. For example, Ingram Spark, a division of Ingram, is the largest book wholesaler and distributor in the United States with a global market of over 40,000 retailers and libraries. And these channels do include Amazon, Kobo, and Barnes & Noble. Many companies offer tools that self-publishing authors can use, such as free promotion, countdown deals, training resources, courses, calculators, file creation guides, and checklists. Many companies have different partnerships, such as Kobo Writing Life and Rakuten, who's affiliated with Walmart. Barnes & Noble Press, which was previously known as Nook Press, has several different partnerships to help offer more services to self-publishing authors, such as services for publicity, editorial help, marketing, full service, and design.